Okay, Jim, we're set.
What do you have, a committee meeting?
Yeah.
Okay, Randy, thank you.
I'll tell you what.
We're good? All right, so it's 6:01 according to my clock, so we're going to start this. This is the regular meeting of the Public Health and Safety Committee held remotely on Tuesday, February 16th, 2021, 6 p.m. as permitted by Executive Order 2020-07, signed by Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker on March 15th, 2020 in response to the COVID pandemic. To participate remotely, download the Zoom app or call 312-626-6799. Public Health and Safety Meeting, webinar ID 892-4375-2176. Password 599276. Any questions about how to do this, you're supposed to contact the city clerk. So we're going to call the meeting to order at 6:01 p.m. And we're going to go roll call. Klinker here. Carr?
Here.
Stevo?
Here.
Fahrenwald?
Here.
Hill? Johnny's not here. Cazares? Will's not here. Johnson? Dexter?
Yep.
Okay, and Chief Rita and Chief Farr. Is anybody else in the room, Randy? Is that it? No, he went away. Okay. So the first thing is the approval of the minutes from, actually it's from, I have December on there. It should be January. There was a January 19th minutes, so it was the December reports. So is anybody, hopefully everyone got a chance to look at those. Anybody want to make a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Carr, second by Bill.
Fahrenwald, yep.
Okay. Any questions? All right, we'll do a roll call. Klinker's an aye. Carr.
Aye.
Stevo.
Aye.
Fahrenwald.
Aye.
And Johnson.
Aye.
All right, all ayes. So that was that. Under public comment, it says public comment shall be by email only. Persons interested in making public comment must email their public comment to jklinker@cityblueisland.org by 5 p.m. February 16th. Email public comments received will be read during the public comment portion of the meeting by Alderman Jim Klinker. I have received nothing. So with that, we'll move on to fire department business. Go ahead, Chief Dan.
Excuse me. All right. Good evening, everybody. Hopefully you guys all got dug out or are close to getting dug out after the last couple of weeks. It's been something else. So hopefully everybody got a chance to look at the packet. I think I said that Thursday or Friday. I'll go through it like I customarily do. So call response for the month of January, 255 EMS responses, 86 fire responses, 11 of which were auto aid, broken down respectively, 0 mutual aid responses. Moving on to monies collected from medical reimbursement for the month of January. We collected $28,690.91, and that is attached as number 2 in the packet. Medical reimbursement, that is the same total for the year to date, obviously. Money received from fire recovery for the month of January totaled $1,994. Again, that year to date total is the same. And no false alarm fees for January. Some calls of interest for the month of January. On January 6th, we had a house fire at 12223 Maple, second floor rear bedroom. Thankfully, the occupants were able to get out. The guys made a quick stop on it and did not escalate from there. 2 days later, we went to Robbins, myself and engine 2123 for a house fire there. And then we assisted Riverdale on 112 with a house fire. So nothing too crazy. EMS wise, we're still fairly busy. That was the predominance, obviously, of our calls for the month. If you go to page 2, general information, again, continuing on with the task force, COVID-19, preparing for the 2021 appropriations. We have met with a couple different apparatus manufacturers, which I'll get into under old business. And then looking at obviously our options as we approach the appropriations. We did process and hired 2 new members. They started February 1st. They completed their 2 weeks of days, and then they both started shift, one yesterday and one today. So we're looking forward to having them on board, and that brings our total staffing back to 27. We completed and submitted a grant to the Gary Sinise Foundation for extrication equipment. Hopefully that comes through because, again, as I've mentioned previously, in these meetings and then during appropriations, our extrication equipment is extremely old and is in need of replacement, and it's quite costly to the tune of about $30-some thousand or more. So hopefully we get this grant, and then we can go from there. We'll obviously continue to pursue those as we move forward. Maintenance wise, the tower ladder is still out of service. Hopefully they finally got the pins beat out of them, and they should be putting that back together. And then I hope to have it back by the end of the month. At least that's what they're telling me. So we'll see. Hopefully it can last until we get something new here. Fire prevention, Lieutenant Zielinski completed 2 inspections. Again, kind of slow with the weather and COVID, but he did get 2 inspections, and I know he's had a couple more through February, so it's picking up a little bit. Our training hours for the month of, that should say January, totaled 564 and a half. And this included our annual bloodborne pathogen training and then Zoll training for the new monitors, which, if you recall, we were able to secure that with the CARES Act money. We were able to get 3 new cardiac monitors, which will help aid in the event or when we go ALS. So the members were asked to train, and then we actually took possession of them last week, and we are going to set up training, in-house training with Zoll coming out and giving each shift an overview of the new monitors. So we're proceeding with that. In your package, that should be handout number 3 is the train hours broken down individually for everybody. Operationally, the 2021 box cards, I've been working on those and updated those. I actually submitted those last week, and our division will review them. Nothing major with those. EMS wise, continue to respond to and be prepared for COVID-19 responses. They're still, obviously, it's still very much at the forefront. So we're continuing doing what we've been doing for the last almost year now. So hopefully it slows down a little bit with the vaccine and some of the other stuff that's going on. And we'll see. Hopefully by summer, maybe we'll be back to some type of normalcy. And I just talked about the monitors. They're actually here now. So you'll see that in February or next month's update. So also in your package, you have the January 2021 overtime, which was unusually high. And that was a result of some of the storms that we had and putting extra folks on. It is also somewhat related to, we have 1 member off injured, and then obviously getting these other 2 folks hired. We were down 2. So that's some of it. The detailed is attached as well. And then the last thing in the package should be the 7G breakdown for the month. So any questions regarding that?
Guess not. We'll move on. You got stuff on old business, you said, Chief?
Yeah, I just to update everybody, we talked about the apparatus purchase or potentially looking at different options. We did have both Sutphin and Spartan come out. Each one brought a tower ladder. One basically sat with us and designed an engine if we need it. Right now, we're close to when I talked to you about replacing the rigs that or the tower ladder alone at one point, anywhere between, depending on what we got, 1.2 to 1.6. We're pretty close with these 2 manufacturers to getting 2 rigs for that price, which I said that, I would obviously look into doing for you guys and give you guys different options. So we're still going through the process, but I just wanted to update everybody as to where we were. I know that for appropriations, we're working on a capital plan for the overall city. So I just wanted to keep everybody informed of what we were doing. And then the ALS update, 3 of our members started medic school last Monday. So they're eagerly jumping into that. And then we're continuing to work on the MOU/side letter with the local. And as we get that taken care of, I'll certainly update you with the details.
All right. New business, Chief. We have Bill, you want to ask? I put it down under you because you're the one that requested this.
Thank
So,
you,
Chief,
Jim.
go ahead, Bill.
Good, great. It's kind of maybe an unanswerable question, but it probably deserves to be asked given what's going on right now. I had an inquiry from Mrs. Mindeman, who's a well-respected senior in town. unlike myself. And she she was, a little frustrated in terms of, finding vaccination resources, as many are. And she had sent along that the city of Chicago has a program for their, that kind of facilitates a website that kind of facilitates for their seniors to help them with vaccinations. We obviously don't have anything like that. And I guess there's a couple things that came to mind as I was looking at just to make sure I'm correct. We're not providing any guidance for Blue Island residents in terms of, vaccination services. Is that correct?
Well, what we do, Alderman Fahrenwald, is through, and as I responded, we have obviously the daily when we do the weekly PSAs, we do put all of the stuff on our website. I know Sarah does a good job of updating that frequently. And then when they do call, if I've gotten a couple phone calls directed to my office, and I was trying how I did help one woman. She didn't have a computer. I know that's the big thing right now, is that folks that don't have computers. So I was able to get her a phone number, and I believe she got taken care of and scheduled it. And as I said in the email response back, the city of Chicago has their own allocation of medicine and vaccinations. So they're kind of acting independently. They dole it out. They set all of that up. So their aldermen have a little bit more, I guess, persuasion, if you will, and can do a little bit more advocating. For us, what we have to do is go through the county and try and get it worked out that way, which that woman that you talked about, when I sent that on to county. So I don't know if you've heard back from her, has she been able to get anything rectified with that or no?
I haven't heard back, but I'll check with her.
Okay, because I did forward it on to our contact in county and see if they could help her out. But it is frustrating. It's a source of frustration for a lot of folks. I know that. And it's unfortunate, especially with us being this close with all, with the vaccinations available. But it's just, it's just kind of a wait and see right now. Unfortunately, there's so many different directions that this thing's going, and so many folks, which again, I understand fundamentally they want to all help, but I think in a way it's actually hurting some folks because it's not set up, or it's not going quite the way it's being portrayed to be going. So,
go ahead, Dex.
Bill,
Yeah.
Bill, I'm sorry. This is Dexter. I'm sorry, Chief Rita. I got a little insight. I don't know if that would help you guys or not. I was going through the walkthrough with Miss President Winkle through the county building, as well as the mayor, and they were doing vaccinations there. They average about 296 a day. And they was taking like maybe 20, 25 walk-ins, but they were doing senior citizens.
Right.
Also, Beloved, that's in Robin, they also do the same thing. And Strozier, the Strozier hospital that's off Kedzie in Robin, they do the same thing. But if she can call up to the Cook County building that's in Blue Island and maybe make an appointment. But they were supposed to have been doing their own advertisement of this, but because of the overwhelming numbers and what they can produce a day, they had the military in there, the National Guard, and they're helping them out.
Yeah, I've known a few people who've been in there, and they say it's a great. Once you got the reservation, it is handled very well, and it goes real well. One thing that I kind of noticed as I was looking at this, a couple things, maybe generally speaking, about seniors that we might want to think about. And Randy, be kind of interested in your take on this too. Since we no longer have a senior office and we haven't had one in quite a long time, if you go on our website, there really isn't any that I could find. There's no landing place for seniors. And we do have, the Calumet Township and Worth Township, I believe both have some kind of senior program. So I wonder if we might want to at least include a, senior resources and those links and maybe some other links so that even though we don't have a senior resource directly in the city, when folks come on the website, there is at least some information for them that would help them go find resources for this and other things. And I also and it kind of semi-related, but probably because of the storm. I believe we have a well-being check process, maybe administered through the police department. Is that correct?
That is correct. That list is being generated currently.
Yeah. Okay. And I couldn't find anything on the website about that. Is there anything there that would, maybe enable people to come on the website and just sign up for well-being checks? It might be a good thing to have if we don't.
It was on there, I believe, right, Jeff?
I might have
I know
missed
that.
it. I looked around. It might be. I just didn't see it, but I couldn't find it.
It was on there. It was posted maybe in the last 2 weeks about contacting Detective Slattery and registering that way.
Okay.
The problem is all that the database we had was on the server that recently crashed. So we lost all that data. So now, with these checks coming up, we're kind of like, caught with our pants down a little bit. Because since the crash, it was never entertained. So we're in the process of rebuilding the database.
Randy, didn't we get?
I could interrupt real quick. This is Ben. We have the well-being check thing playing on BITV. How they can get on the list there.
Okay. Could we put
to contact Jason Slattery?
All right, can we put a maybe I missed it, but if it could be maybe a more prominent link on our homepage or something, especially since we're trying to rebuild the list, I think it'd be a good thing to have. And then again,
I agree, that'd be great.
If we could just maybe they could, maybe we could create a little senior box and that would be on there and links to, like I say, Calumet Township, Worth Township, senior services, et cetera. Because like I said, I talked to a few seniors recently, and I don't. I like to go, gee, yeah, it really isn't any place for them to go and kind of, just click at least and find a little bit of a home on the website. It would be good.
And Randy, did we not, at the start of COVID, didn't we get that list back together? Because we were having issues with it, but didn't we get partial or most of the list back together?
Well, I don't know if it was a complete list, but what I did was I ran at the very beginning of COVID, I ran a list of all the people that have, I think it was senior vehicles and senior water rate. No, that's not gonna pick up the renters though. So that's, unless the renters that don't own a vehicle, that we won't be able to pick that up.
That might be helpful to Jeff as they put it together, right? I mean, that's a lot better than trying to start from scratch.
Absolutely.
I agree. Yes.
All right. Well, thank you. It's been helpful to me just to gather a little bit more information that I can respond to people with. So appreciate it. Thank you.
Just for everyone's information, real quick, that list that Randy's talking about was emailed to everyone back in April 30th of 2020. It was sent to me.
Okay.
I believe, and then it ended up, I forwarded it to all the other aldermen at that point.
Okay.
So just so everyone knows, look back in your email. There is a list.
Okay.
And I believe most of them, Randy, correct me if I'm wrong, a good portion of them were from down at those two buildings down at Face Point.
There's a lot, absolutely.
Yeah. So, okay. All right. Just so everyone knows, that's where it's at. So, all right. Dexter, you had something?
Yeah, I do. We got actually 4 townships in the city of Blue Island. We got Thornton and Bremen, as well as Cal Park and Worth. If we can get something out, and like you said, everybody does not have, like they might be renting, so they won't have the water bill. But the water bill, I think, is a great way of doing it. Since we can't actually just send out mailers and things of that nature for the information, because a lot of seniors don't do anything on the internet.
Right. Yeah. Good reminder, Dex, about all our overlying political jurisdictions where all of our great taxpayer money is spent so efficiently. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else on that for the chief, or anything else on anything for the chief? Chief, you got anything else?
No, that was it. Thank you.
Okay. Well, we'll move on to police department business if we're done with chief. So, Jeff, you're up.
Our probationary officer completed stage 2. He's in stage 3. I believe he's in his 2nd week. No issues with him as of yet. So that's looking good. We have yet to hire anybody, so we're still at 31. However, in the next week, we're hoping to hire the 3 policemen, and then the other 3 will go to the academy at the end of March. We're continuing to disperse the PPEs Despite that, we've had some unfortunate luck with a few of our people becoming infected, testing positive. And it's not just that, it's the children of our employees as well. So now, we're accumulating some sick time because the children need to be separated. And one parent needs to stay with the ones who aren't, and the other parent needs to stay with the ones who are. So it's trickle-down effect. Monthly reporting, we don't have our numbers this month. Unfortunately, the one person we have in charge of tabulating all that number was tested positive and actually ended up in the hospital. That person is not back to work as of today, and it's unknown when they will come back. Calls for service, we had almost 2,200. They were almost evenly divided between self-initiated and people requesting our service. We took in 4 firearms last month, one of which was from a suicide down on Vermont Street. Narcan deployment, we only had 1, and unfortunately that person passed. We were not able to save him. We had 4 people complete some training last month. Our overtime was, there's only one red flag in the overtime, and that was patrol. I attribute that to not only our manpower, but we had an officer injury, and we had some COVID problems as well. So that's really the only red flag as far as the overtime goes. We were able to get our door system replaced, and it's fully functional as of today. We're still looking at some long-term projects that need to be done, and probably will be done. It's just timing. Our body cam program, we've had numerous vendors now. One vendor in particular, I believe it was Motorola, actually called and lowered their price because the state is now mandating that we have them. So they're actually working with us, and their price came down, although we're not fully prepared yet to move forward on the body cam issue. Our fleet, it's aging, as is always, but every car is working, and that's really a good thing for this weather, because some of our cars, we like to keep 2 officers in a car, but with this weather, sometimes we have to run the cars a little bit longer because they're SUVs, and I don't want to have any of our guys getting stuck trying to go help somebody. Investigations, we had 4 cases of interest. We had an ag hijacking on Greenwood. For as unfortunate of a situation as that is, the offender from that ag hijacking was ultimately shot to death by the Evanston police. If you were watching the news, it was just a debacle. The guy went from town to town, stealing cars and shooting people, and ultimately faced his own death up in Evanston. So we lost a car, but we didn't lose a life. So for what it's worth, it's a good thing. We had an employee theft down in Sacramento at the junkyard. We had a reckless discharge down on 135 Place. And the aggravated battery on Grove. That was a situation where it was a ex-girlfriend thing. So it was not random, which is a good thing. Recently, we joined the Vehicular Hijacking Task Force, which comprises of Chicago, the Cook County Sheriff, the FBI, and the U.S. Attorney's Office. We're not exactly sending any bodies to this task force as much as we are transmitting any incidents of hijacking. So we're not losing anybody, which is a good thing. And that's pretty much it. Anybody have any questions?
Yes, this is Alderman Johnson. How you doing, first of all, and great job that you're doing so far. I wanted to ask, how are we going about with the community and cultural diversity training? And the other question is, we can replace the car, but we can't replace a life, Chief.
No, I understand.
Yep. So that's great job.
I appreciate that. Well, the community and the diversity training, that's held yearly. That's an annual thing. And I'm not quite certain, and I apologize, I'm not quite certain when that is scheduled for next. Dennis came in early today, and he's our training guy. But I will get that answer for you tomorrow, and I can shoot you a text message or give you a call, whichever you prefer.
Either one is good for you, Chief. And I was just making sure, because I know some of the guys that's already been on, they already probably went through it, just recently last year. But I was making sure that the new employees come in, and be trained.
Well, yeah, I mean, they would get that in the academy. And because it's mandated, I'm sure their current employers, well, like one of the three that we're hiring right away that are already policemen is a part-timer here. So he received the training already. I'm going to assume that the officers from the different jurisdictions had that training. If not, we can get it to them, when we do our training. But we do it annually. I believe it's before June, if I remember correctly. But I will find out specifically when that is, and I'll definitely follow back with you.
Hey, Chief, I do know that Chief Bernie told us that is part of your annual training. I'm sure it's just like the fire department where we have certain things that you have to hit every year, and that's one of them. So yeah, if you could get back to, Alderman Johnson, let him know, or if you just shoot it to me, whatever. We can email people, let everyone know.
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
Thank you.
Problem.
Anything else, Dex? Any other
No,
questions?
sir. Thank you very much, Chief, and thank you as well, Chairman.
Chief Farr, this is Alderman Stevo.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing? Good. Did you have a chance to read the Detective Harwell lawsuit depositions?
I did. Not the depositions, no. I did not read the depositions. I read the allegations.
Well, we have residents in Blue Island here who feel strongly that Robbie Silva deserves justice, and would like you to get more involved in this and see what can be done.
I'm going to step in here right now. We talked about this last month, Al. It's actually in the minutes from last month. This has been brought to the mayor, who's forwarded off to, I believe it was the state's attorney or the FBI. I'd have to look it up again. And as far as the cold case stuff that you're interested in, we talked about that last month. The chief informed us that there isn't one currently. There was a discussion about it at length, if I remember correctly, and it was brought up that that's something that maybe you should bring up to the mayor for appropriations if you're interested in that.
Well, with all due respect, sometimes it is very hard being an alderman, and there's residents that do not want to forget about this, and I'm bringing this up.
No one's forgetting about it, Al.
Conversely,
no one's forgetting about anything. I've given you a suggestion. We talked about it. We're not just going to keep bringing this up every single month. I've made a suggestion.
Yes, we are, Alderman.
Okay,
yes,
Al, you can bring it up every single month and you're going to get the same answer. So go on.
Now listen, I'm expecting from you full cooperation. You're
getting full. Al, look at the minutes that we just approved. You got full cooperation last month. We discussed it at length. We came up with the decision as a group. It's in there. It says Alderman Klinker advised that the issue of the local cold case unit should be brought up in the upcoming appropriations by Alderman Stevo. Alderman Klinker also advised Alderman Stevo to bring his concerns to the mayor as well. Have you done any of that, sir?
I'm continuing to bring it up because it shouldn't be forgotten about, just like the Carlos Salgado case.
Have you brought it up to the mayor yet?
I'm bringing it up at appropriations. But in the meantime, we're wasting valuable time. Chief Carr, with this Carlos Salgado case, we need you to go further with that. We need you to get a copy of the Dick Devine report, read that, and someone needs to be charged. It was quoted from a judge in the David Cashman case that how do you have a body and no one goes to jail? Someone needs to be charged in Carlos Salgado.
This is another thing that we discussed.
What you might want to do is charge Fred Bellato and take it from there. Start with him and see where this goes. But we can't forget about.
Does anyone have any questions for the police chief?
Thank you.
No one else has any questions for the police chief? Okay, then we're done with you, chief, unless you got anything else.
Not pertaining to January, but with the snowfall, and I'm sure it'll be in next month's report. But I just wanted you guys to know now that we have issued over 70 parking tickets, issued 16 pre-tows, and towed 8 vehicles. from the snow routes.
Okay, thank you.
And one other thing, Chief Farr.
Yes.
With this Water Reclamation District Waterfalls Park, can we contact the Water Reclamation District and see if they will put up security cameras and have them pay for it?
I'm going to jump in here too. If you want to look back through the minutes again, Al, I've suggested that twice to the mayor and to Mark Miller. It's gone to the city. We approved it at a couple months ago. We approved signs. We approved all kinds of stuff. Security cameras was one of the things that's in the email. So I don't know why it's not done. Talk to the mayor and ask him why it's not done. I get no response. Can I finish talking, please?
That's why I'm talking to Chief Farr.
You know what? Chief Farr is not going to get that done. It's got to come from above Chief Farr, from another governmental entity, which is what we discussed probably last June, if I remember correctly. So therefore, maybe I suggest once again that you contact the mayor and talk to him, because I don't get a response from him when I make suggestions, when I send emails. So maybe you'll have better luck at that. Anything else for Chief Farr?
I think it's part of Chief Farr's duty to see if he can get these cameras. You can start with him.
Okay. So under new business, I'm sorry, not new business, number 7, a health inspector report. I did get an email from the mayor's secretary a month ago or so stating that the mayor's fine with Susan Wagner reporting to us, which is what this committee suggested and requested a couple of months ago. I contacted her last week, maybe the beginning of the week before, asked for a health inspection report. She said she'd have it to me by this meeting. I got nothing. So I'm not sure if it's because I know City Hall was closed today and she didn't get in to send it. I'm not exactly sure, but they are now reporting, excuse me, the health inspector will be reporting monthly, hopefully, to this committee. Any other alderman concerns or comments?
Yes, Alderman Stevo.
Go ahead.
Yes, I did. I did give you some suggestions what I would like to have had on the agenda, but they're not on there.
Right.
And one of them is the fireworks ordinance revised. We need a new 2021 fireworks ordinance. And I'd like to see this committee get it done before we sin die.
I think that should go to Judiciary Committee since it's an ordinance.
Well, it could start with us since you were all in favor of it. It could start with us. I don't know. I'm not on Judiciary. I'm on Public Health and Safety.
So I suggest you send an email to Judiciary Committee and ask them to look at the current fireworks ordinance and the current fireworks laws of the state of Illinois and see what we can do about it.
Well, I remember that you were all in favor of it, and the whole committee was in favor of it. I'd like to see it done.
Okay. Anyone else have any comments or concerns?
Yeah, this is Johnson, Chairman. I was wondering if Chairman Rita got back to you about those stop signs.
No, she did not. You know what? I was just looking through old minutes and she did not. I'm going to shoot her a text now because I believe they have a meeting after this, or I'll give her a call if we get done here. I think, Randy, they got a meeting at 7, right? You're muted, Randy. Anyway, I'll get in touch with her, Dex, and remind her about that. Okay, 141st, right, in Francisco.
Yeah, 140 place. 140.
Yeah, 141 place in Francisco. Yeah. Okay.
Yep, and I thank you too, Chairman. And sure. I just wanted to, mention about, man, if we could, if there's any seniors in any of the alderman wards, and if it's any way possible for them to help. I got old alderman Carly Jackson. He's not doing very well, so I go down there and try to dig him out. But sometimes the snowplow comes through, man, and it can turn to concrete. So it's kind of hard. But if you guys can look out for your seniors as well, that's maybe on your block or in your little area, that'd be great.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think we all need to do that.
Yep. Alderman Fahrenwald, just one quick, question or this observation, I guess, for maybe police chief. I appreciate your report about the tickets issued with the snow, and that's great. Certainly, just to reinforce, I do probably a big comment I'm getting from residents during this snow is that there's too many cars parked on snow routes. I know you can't possibly go out and yank them all off. I do understand that. But there is concern about it. And so I would just ask you to kind of keep on top of that to the extent that your resources will allow. And I'm sure you're doing the best you can with what you got. but it is an issue because people do feel like, hey, I pull my car off the street and then there's a car parked right out of, I watch it and the snow plows have to go around it, and it just seems kind of unfair. So, and maybe we need to do more public announcements and so forth. I don't know, although we do pretty many, but it certainly is a little bit of a sore subject out there.
I understand. I do. And I'm not making excuses by any means.
No,
but what a lot of people don't understand or realize is that at any given time, there are 4 policemen on the street.
Yep.
And, with the snow, comes more frequent accidents.
Right.
And what a lot of people don't know is that on average, it takes about 45 minutes to get a tow truck.
Yeah.
I personally, and I'm saying this, because I personally dealt with it, I waited 4 hours for a tow truck because airline tows for more people, more municipalities other than Blue Island.
Yeah.
And when everybody needs a tow truck on the expressway, on 294, on I-57, up by Dan Ryan, we're at the mercy of airline. So you gotta consider that too. When you're talking about towing cars, it's is this car so much of a problem as it's going to interrupt the plow, or can the plow go around it? I mean, if we're sitting on a one car for 2 or 3 hours while 3 other policemen are running call to call, I'm not so sure that's very time conducive.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. It's a very helpful explanation. I do understand the constraints. I'm just kind of noting that I'm hearing about it, but I completely understand, where you're coming from on that too. So,
and the 2 cars in reference to your email, we were able to take care of.
Good. Thank you so much.
Alderman Fahrenwald, this is Alderman Stevo.
Yeah.
That's a very important subject there. And the mayor suggested, as you recall, even odd rotation on the streets, different days. And some streets that might work where they'd be moving their cars the other side of the street if there's not a lot of cars on there.
Yeah, it's something I agree it's worth looking at. It's a difficult situation. This town just wasn't built for this many cars, and so there's always going to be issues. But I think we need to be searching for any good solutions we can. And that may be one. I certainly agree.
Any other alderman comments or concerns?
Yeah, Jim, since we just gonna prolong this thing, I might as well add my 2 cents in here.
Go for
it. I was thinking about just, I understand my family been in Blue Island in different parts for over 60-something years, man. But I just want to, everybody had their own different little nooks and crannies and different issues on how you might handle one part of Blue Island differently than you handle another part of Blue Island. But I have been getting complaints, and we talked about odd and even numbers of stuff when you got, really close parking. Because I understand Chief Farr's dilemma with manpower. I also understand the same dilemma that Jim has in public works and in equipment deficiency. So I was just like, maybe if we can get back to plowing the alleys, some of the people on the street can park their cars in their garage or something. Mm-hmm. But if we could go maybe odd and even numbers, addresses, on one side they'll park the street, park the cars on one side of the street, and then on the other, where the snowplow can go through there. But that's just something that maybe we can toss around because it's part of public health and safety.
Yeah, so let me jump in here real quick. I have talked to Jim at Public Works in regards to snow removal and public safety, since that's our committee. The way they do it is they do the main streets. I think everyone pretty much knows that. Then after the main streets, they try to make a pass down pretty much every street so that police and ambulances and fire trucks can get to the house. They might not be able to, they might be climbing over walls of snow and stuff, but that's their priority. That's how they do things. Then after that, they go back around and they start doing sweeps through where they can clean out a couple parking spots. Let's say a couple cars are moved or whatever. And I think alleys are really pretty far down the list as they've always been. I get that. I'm getting that too from people that, my car's parked in the alley. I can't get it out of the alley. And the other thing is I talked to them, not about this last snow yesterday and the day before, and actually even last week when it was a light snow, but that first one that we had, I don't know, a while ago was a really heavy snow. And I know they were getting trucks stuck just on the streets. And I mean, my neighbor paid somebody to plow my alley out, and this guy got stuck like 12 times. So that's another issue that they have. But yeah, I mean, it is something, the odd even thing, whatever it is that does need to be discussed. I know that it's been discussed already in municipal services, and hopefully, you know, we can get this going so that, you know, I don't think we're going to have an answer before the end of this winter, but there is something that we definitely need to look forward, or, you know, move forward on.
Yep.
I think we can play with that idea, Chairman, because the thing is that when Palokin was in office, there was a lot more people in public works.
Yeah, that's true too.
And then equipment, I'm not going to even say the equipment was better, but I had suggested things like the temperature probes that should be going on the plow truck, so they'll know what the temperature of the ground is, whether they need to salt or not salt, or, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's like $36 a piece. You know, me and Jim talked about it. But the thing is that if we could probably do the alley, and they, you know, some of the cars could go up in the garage, and we'll do odd and even numbers. It might be a better thing. You know, I don't know. I'm just wanted to, you know, toss that out there to you, Jim, that you play with it in your head as well, and the rest of our team of public health and safety.
Okay.
Well, I'll take it upon myself to write a email to Candy Carr and maybe ask that this be brought up at next municipal services, as maybe just to start, I don't know, some kind of just task force or discussion or something to kind of see if we can get our arms around all this, and hopefully by next winter season get something figured out.
Candy's here, so she's hearing you already. But yeah, I would send that email.
That's right. She's been quiet tonight. Yeah. Hi, Candy.
I'm here.
You're here.
Yep. So, all right. Okay. Anything else from anyone on Alderman concerns? All right. How about a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Fahrenwald. Second by
I'll second.
Carr. All right. Roll call. Let's see. Klinker's an aye. Carr.
Aye.
Stevo.
Aye.
Fahrenwald.
Aye.
And Johnson. Aye.
No, because I really like this committee. Thank you.
Thanks. So, no from Johnson. All right. Well, we still adjourning. So the next meeting is Tuesday, March 16th, 2021, 6 p.m. Once again, I'm going to assume it's on Zoom because I don't think things are going to get changed by then. So